corruption? A lot of people hear that word and they think of ruin, chaos, losing yourself. But the truth is far more complex and far more hopeful. Corruption doesn't decide who to break and who to spare. It meets every soul the same way. It's Izun, the corrupted god of balance, calling out to you. What changes is how you stand in its current, how much power you allow in, and how firmly you keep hold of your center. Every corruptor walks a different road, but those roads, they share one truth. And the truth is the balance you build inside defines the shape that corruption takes. Some become what is called unawakened, pure, unchecked energy. Unawakened corruptors are dangerous because they've forgotten to guide their strength, and they lose the soul of who they are to the wounds that created them. They are blinded by their betrayal and the corruption. And that corruption renders their already weakened hearts into mindless and traumatized and hurt beings. They look like mindless chaos. And yes, they are volatile and they are driven by instinct, but unawakened corruptors remind us that even destruction comes from somewhere. They're not failures, or they're not less than. No, they're not less than any other corruptor. They are just a different piece. They are sparks to a revolutionary beginning. Because every fire starts with a spark. Other corruptors, they become ashara. They walk this fine edge. Ashara, they are bursting with rage and turmoil, and they have this inability to find closure in the trauma that they experienced. However, they don't lose themselves and they don't succumb to pain fully. Ashara keep their minds sharp. Their choices are still their own, and their chaos is still created within reason. They are proof that corruption won't erase who you are. There will always be bad days and there will always be good days. But despite the bad days, staying true to who you are, despite it all, is an ashara's strength. You can still be yourself while carrying a weight that most couldn't even fathom enduring. They are a living contradiction, destructive yet powerful, fragile yet strong. Ashara remind us that harmony can truly exist. And sometimes a corruptor can grow into vashion. Vashion corruptors are much more calm, and they are more calculated than Unawakened and Ashara. They are the type to shape the force of corruption, but with purpose. They have willingly sacrificed pieces of who they once were and are now fully committed to the corruptors faction. They pave the way through resonance and stand as anchors for those who are corrupted. And they guide others who would fall apart. The vashion remind us that equilibrium is also a responsibility. It is the power to not only carry yourself, but to carry others with you. And finally, there are the rarest of the corruptors, the nasheron. To reach this stage of corruption is to surrender nearly everything. Your name, your past, the smallest pieces of your identity, all of them just given up by choice. It is all done willingly. But it's not done as a way to cope, I guess, because it's not a loss. It is purely a transformation. The nasheron are beings of living arcanite. They wield arcana beyond comprehension. But what truly sets them apart is not their sheer power, but their gravity. The unshaped, countless, unawakened are just drawn to them. They rally not as thralls of domination, but merely extensions of balance. Around a nasheron, chaos, it becomes a choir. What was once discord becomes a beautiful symphony, and their presence does not erase individuality. It is about being a team. It is about being a team to achieve a new world together. Because the nasheron are not solitary titans. They are proof that equilibrium, even at its highest form, is never just about the one. It is about all. And none of these stages make you better or worse than the other. They are merely measures of how much of yourself you keep and how deeply you allow corruption to flow. And corruption doesn't just shape Feyre's citizens either. The earth, the water, just any living thing really that can twist or heal depending on the will that guides the change. Arcanite, which is the crystal that carries the arcana, is at the heart of all of it. When corrupted, arcanite is no longer fragile. It can grow inside you and fuse with every breath and every heartbeat. I mean, look at me. And the crystal isn't a prison. I've never considered it one. It's purely a sign of what you're capable of, especially when it comes down to choosing between steadiness and surrendering. And I will never surrender. And of course, the arcanite crystal doesn't necessarily have to manifest in the same way mine does. But in the same way that an arcanite crystal can form and reveal itself in many different ways, every corruptor also reveals itself in different ways and plays a different part and a different role and is still just as valuable as the next. Because yes, corruption is very demanding. But what really matters is the intent. The clear purpose that anchors you when the current of it all gets too strong. Even in the darkest moments, there's always the chance to return to balance. It's a calling to carry pain you didn't ask for, but still shine with incredible strength. It is to create a world together, to work for it. To create this world where no one has to hurt in the same way that you did and walk away with a similar trauma. Because corruption isn't here to erase you. So if you ever feel that pull, if you ever hear that call, don't let fear write your story. Learn its language. Stand tall. And let it teach you balance. Let it sharpen your purpose. Let corruption remind you that you are capable of guiding even the wildest power into harmony. Because you are not what happened to you. You aren't. Whoever lets you believe that, it just isn't true. It's not your fault. It never was. And just like you, I know what that feels like. To feel the guilt that maybe it was you who did something wrong, but you didn't. You're not a villain for hurting, and you're not a villain because you now have to carry a hefty scar that will never really fully heal, even if you move on. Being a corruptor is not being a villain. To be a corruptor is to restore balance and to give the world the change and care that you needed, that no one gave you. To be a corruptor is to be the change that you want to see, so that no one else has to experience and fear the world in the way that you did or do. And we'll do it together.